What's up guys, Mixology Matt here, your liquor store's favorite mixologist, because today I'm giving the ultimate orange liqueur guide. What is orange liqueur, the differences between all these products here, and how to use them in cocktails. Are you ready? Let's jump right in. So in the onset, orange liqueur is a very broad term that summarizes any liqueur made from oranges. Triple Sec is a French-style orange liqueur that will use a neutral grain spirit that is a pure orange flavor. These are my two Triple Secs here. The McGuinness one is going to be a little bit lower in alcohol and have a much higher sugar content compared to Cointreau. Cointreau is going to be your more premium option of a Triple Sec. It's coming in at 40% alcohol by volume and much, much drier. So it's gonna be a very big difference if you made a margarita with each one of these. Looking at Curaçao, that's the next style of an orange liqueur. Curaçao uses a specific type of oranges. I believe it's Lahora orange peels that are used. But what also makes Curaçao unique to Triple Sec is the fact that they can use different herbs and spices in the infusion to give a more deeper flavor profile. A lot of people ask, why is Curaçao blue? Any guesses? It all comes down to marketing. As the brand, you can add a lot more shelf appeal. It stands out. For the bartender's perspective, we can have a lot more creativity by adding in more unique color. If you ever want a light blue color drink, turn this into a margarita, or a Blue Lagoon is the famous drink with blue Curaçao. Personally hate Blue Lagoons. That's just my opinion. But blue Curaçao does have its place on the back bar. This is Pierre Ferrand's dry Curaçao. This one's gonna be definitely a lot more premium because this one's actually made with cognac. This is a collaboration between Pierre Ferrand and David Wondrich to recreate the 19th century Curaçao that was referenced in a lot of the original bar manuals from the Jerry Thomas era. David Wondrich is a fantastic historian. He has a book called Imbibe. Check out my cocktail book video. I do a full breakdown of what that is. And honestly, that's why they recreated this product. One other thing to mention with Curaçao is that compared to Triple Sec, these might be made with neutral grain spirits. These can be made with other types of spirits. This is made with cognac. This could be made with brandy, with rum, with various other types of spirits, depending on where it is made. That is your Curaçao 101. Grand Marnier is one of the most famous examples of orange liqueur, but it doesn't fall under the same category as dry Curaçao or Triple Sec. It's kind of the outlier in this group, and it's one of the most premium orange liqueurs that you can get. Often, if you use it in a margarita, it's known as the Cadillac margarita because this is an expensive product. I would say Grand Marnier, your Pierre Ferrand, and your Cointreau all gonna be a little bit higher in price because they're also more premium ingredients and they use cognac as the base in these two. I highly recommend using Grand Marnier in some of your cocktails because it's gonna give some of that oak flavor compared to these other ones. Because it's using a cognac, you expect to get some of those barrel notes, the vanilla, some of that oak flavor. That's gonna add a different dimension to your cocktail. So they each have their own use and place. I've organized them by category, but another thing to mention is also the price point of each one. So that might depend on how you wanna shop for your cocktails. The next key thing to know is how to use them in cocktails. Orange liqueur is probably the most called upon liqueur out of all of bartending. So many amazing drinks call for it. So that's why I wanted to make this video for you today. One of the things to really note is all about sugar, okay? If I move these two around, these are gonna be on your sweeter end of the spectrum. Because they're lower in alcohol, you don't need to add as much sugar as you would in a cocktail. So let's just say I made a margarita with the McGuinness Triple Sec and I made one with Cointreau. If I use the McGuinness here, I do not need to add any additional sweetness through agave or simple syrup. There's enough sugar in here that's all you need. If you use Cointreau or any of the ones in this end, you might need to add a bit more sweetness to balance out that cocktail. A lot of people say a classic margarita is 2 ounce tequila, 1 ounce lime, 1 ounce Cointreau. In my opinion, that's just a little too tart and strong for me. I like adding in a little bit of simple or agave syrup. These are all 40%. And if you follow those specs on a margarita, that's a triple cocktail with just 1 ounce of lime. that's where it's really important to balance out your sweetness. If you're using any one of these three, you know you're getting higher proof, less sweet, more dry. So in those scenarios, you might have to add a little bit more sweetness. If you're using any one of these guys, you don't need to add any more sugar, and you know what you're getting with each one of those. So I hope that kind of explains the difference between our more low end and our more premium products. They each have their own place. Out of the whole lineup, I really have a soft spot for Grand Marnier. It was one of those things where I saw my dad and my grandfather drink this stuff on ice all the time, and that's where I really think this one is my favorite out of the lineup. But honestly, you really can't go wrong with any one of them. Just depends on what you're making. If you have any comments or questions about orange liqueur, Triple Sec, Cointreau, or even your favorite recipe with any one of these products, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to see what your thoughts are. And there you have it. Thanks for watching. I'm Mixology Matt. I don't make drinks, I make smiles. Smash that like button. Don't forget to leave a comment, drop a sub. And if you have any ideas, I'm all ears. Catch you all in the next one.